Hi guys, welcome to the StrettyNewsTV live transfer talk show. I'm Aoife Turner. It's the first one I'm going to be doing with Stretty News, and today I'm joined with Ian, Roman and Joey. We're going to be talking about all the ins and outs of the summer transfer window, so a lot to cover. First and foremost, we've got one in, seems to be done, welcome to the which is Depay. Live transfer talk show. And he seems to be coming in for around £25 million, or somewhere around that. What's everyone thinking about him? He looks like he's going to be the next Ronaldo. Ian?
Yeah, there's a lot of positive thoughts and words being sprung about next Ronaldo. We never put that on Ronaldo when he started, but I suppose that was comparisons to other players at the time. But yeah, I think it's quite positive, and it was definitely quite positive. United clearly made the move so that PSV didn't get him. They went straight early and went and got him and sorted that out. 25, probably, if he stays in the club for the next 8 to 10 years, will be an absolute diamond in the rough. And if he plays the way that he has been playing for PSV and grows upon that in the next, say, 5-10 years, we will see an absolute legend. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, he looks good. Some of his free kicks already getting United fans excited. We've got a big out by the looks of things with De Gea going to Madrid. In return for that, there seems to be quite a lot of swap deals that have been rumoured. Benzema's the latest. We've got Bale, Carvajal, Varane. Joey, if you were going to swap anyone for De Gea from Real Madrid, who would it be?
I guess it would have to be Bale. I think that, of the players you just mentioned, obviously they're all quality, but I think Bale is just a cut above all of them. I mean, you're thinking, you could have Depay on one wing and Bale on the other. Bale could play up front. He's Premier League proven. I've said it multiple times on previews and reviews that we don't need the money. With the De Gea deal, I think you have to take one of their players. For me, it would be Gareth Bale because obviously, if you get a chance to buy quality like that or swap quality with some money, you always go for that because I think there's other players at right back, at center back, and even striker that we could upgrade, that we could go out and buy. But I don't think they would just willingly sell us Bale unless we gave them De Gea.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely, Premier League proven. Benzema's the latest though, and with strikers, it seems that Van Persie may be on his way out. Obviously, Falcao hasn't extended his loan, or we're not going to sign him permanently. Do we need another striker? Is Benzema the guy, Roman?
I certainly think he can do more than a job at Manchester United, simply because obviously he's got the years of experience at Real Madrid, and obviously we were in for him a few years ago. I like his qualities of being big, strong. He's got that little bit of a fear factor, what he puts into the defenders' hearts and minds. He can certainly take on players. He can dribble. He can shoot from the edge of the box. He's not just a 6-yard goal poacher. He's got all the attributes, I think, to fit into our style of play. He can hold the ball up well, which is important, especially when you have the potential of maybe Di Maria still staying, maybe Bale coming in, including obviously Depay. It's important to have a striker who is obviously going to be able to hold the ball up. He's somebody I would certainly look to buy, especially if the price is right. Just moving back slightly when you mentioned about swap deals, etc., I don't think it's always as clear-cut as people might think, as though De Gea's going one way and let's get another player as a straight swap deal. There's lots of different aspects to a swap deal that can actually hinder the so-called true meaning of a word swap. So it's not always as clear-cut. People's contracts, the length of the contracts that are left. So I don't think it's as easy as people might think to assume that if De Gea is going one way, then let's get one of the others and just pay the extra. It's not as simple as that.
No, certainly not. We have been linked with so many kind of swap deals and things. It all gets very confusing as to what will happen, I suppose. In terms of strikers, obviously Benzema's class, and we've recently been, well, not recently, someone who's re-emerged is Alexandre Lacazette. The Mirror are reporting today that he's open to a move to United. Now, I've not seen too much of him, but the things I have seen, he's good. who would you sign if, you know, any striker in the world you could sign tomorrow? Who would it be? Ian?
It's a tough one, that, in actual fact, because of the strange system that we now play. We play this 4-3-3 system, which means that the striker, you know, we've debated over the season about the system that we use and why the front men are not getting it so much. We've you know, do you stick Di Maria up there if you're bringing in Bale, for instance? It's just there's a whole lot of move my phone off that solid surface because the little headphone touch. But yeah, it's just, I think, a strange sort of scenario to find that we're possibly replacing two strikers with one striker rather than having two strikers with two strikers. Or I've thought that we needed to get back to having two strikers and Rooney as a support striker. Benzema, for me, Raymond mentioned it there before about we was linked to him back when he was in his Lyon days before he went to Madrid. At the time, I was really sceptical about him. I just thought that he stood out as a sore thorn in that Lyon side in what many don't say is quite a strong league in the French league. So I just thought at the time I was just like no. But he's shown his worth at the time. But I think he's a bit too similar to a Chicharito type player. He doesn't mind scoring the goals. He doesn't mind being around the box, passing to the wingers and stuff like that. But at the same time, he just wants to. He'll assist goals more than want to score them. And I think that's a bit more Chicharito than we need at the moment. I think we need a bit of a stronger player up top.
It's interesting talking about Cheech. Actually, we've got quite a few players out on loan at the moment. Him being one, Cleverley, Nani. I think most United fans seem to be swaying towards Cleverley going. He's had quite a good season with Villa. It looks like he may be joining Everton. Nani, he seems to sway people. Obviously, he was quite inconsistent for United in terms of his quality and ability. It seems Inter are interested in him now. Inter are interested. Would you keep him, Joey? Would you give Nani another chance at United, or do you think his time's done?
I personally think his time is done, but I would keep him for the preseason. Let him see, show us in training what he can do, show Van Gaal in training. You still have some games in August. He might get a chance there. But I think Nani's just too inconsistent. I think the loan was good for him, and it helped us build up his value because before that, he's not worth very much. So I think, the time to move to new faces and getting younger on the wings is now. So I don't think Nani has a future. I mean, I could be wrong, but, many vines have been made of him scoring some decent goals. But I just don't think, he can do it anymore for us.
That's a shame. I think I'm kind of in the same opinion with him. I did really like him, but we need a bit of consistency in the team now if we're going to start challenging again. We've got Cleverley, who's had a good season this season. Obviously, he wasn't great the season before. A lot of people said it was a shame. It seemed that he was under instruction to kind of keep the ball, pass back. That was his instruction, and it kind of held him back on his ability. Do you think we're missing out on potentially a good player for United there, Aman, or do you think he's not United quality? Stick to someone like Godogan, or what would you say?
Well, I think Cleverley's certainly had his opportunities, and under Sir Alex he played a lot better. Let's face it, there was the potential there for him to kick on and push on. Unfortunately, he never seized the opportunity, in my opinion. However, let's be fair. Under David Moyes, he was restricted in that particular season, and I think he's even openly come out with it a few hours ago in an interview where he said that he was told to stay behind the ball as opposed to sort of pressing with the attacking forays, which under Sir Alex he seemed to make more so from midfield. So really, I think he's certainly had his chance. But personally speaking, I don't think he was destined to go right to the top, and I don't think he was quite United material in the end. He had his chances, but no, I think we made the right decision with Tom Cleverley.
Fantastic. Well, we'll move further back then into defence. It seems to be where a lot of our issues have come from this season. A few mishaps, shall we say. Jonny Evans, a lot of people were angry at for various reasons. He looks like he may be on his way out. I have to agree with that one. Smalling is a target for Arsenal now. I don't think he should go. I think he should stay. I think he could, really develop as a leader for United at the back. We've been linked with Otamendi and obviously a few right backs as well. Daniel Alves we've been linked with to come in on a pre-contract agreement. Who would you sign at the back? Who would you get rid of? What's your kind of overview of our defence, Ian?
Yeah, we've been having this quite a big laugh. I've been taking the piss out of Stephen a bit for his. He said that he'd get something tattooed on his backside if we got 10 million for Jonny Evans. Now, from what I've heard today, Villa and Everton are both keen, which is strange enough because Villa and Everton are both keen on Tom Cleverley. And I'm going back to Tom Cleverley on the point. I wouldn't say he had a good season for Villa. He had an okay season. Yeah, he might have scored 3 goals, but let's not get carried away. In that Blooming Cup final, he was absolutely shocking. He spent 10 minutes trying to figure out where everyone else was doing, pointing in. He was telling teammates what to do and not doing his own job. Blooming hell, the third goal, Sanchez bashes it through the corner. He stood about 5 yards away. It's just like, you're supposed to get to that, mate. So yeah, I quite happily wave goodbye to Cleverley, as I have done over the years. But back to Jonny Evans, I think he's definitely, he looked so calamitous at the back at times last season. Back passes to De Gea, bumming hell. We can't be bringing in a decent keeper to replace De Gea and then do that, because you're just going to put fear in the rest of our eyes at Old Trafford yet again next season. So yeah, Otamendi, I've seen him play a couple of times over in Spain. One of his last games, he pulled his shoulder injury within the first 15 minutes and just continued on. And I was like, He was literally, you could see him wincing, pulling it all the time for the rest of the game. He come back out after half time. I was like, what the hell's he still doing here? And I thought, in actual fact, maybe this guy's got a point. He's doing a Vidic, just soldier on through it. So yeah, I think he could be quite a key one. But my thought if you've bought Valdez, we've bought Valdez, not bought Valdez, but we've signed Valdez for experience. Louis van Gaal's got a 3-year contract. If he goes more than this 3-year contract, say we're not going to, start gigs after this period, and he's going to continue for another couple of seasons. What's his name? Klopp has got his 2-year sabbatical, so maybe he comes in and gigs goes after him. But he might be thinking that we need experience for this next season and Champions League experience. Valdez does that for me. Right back, Alves does that as well. So it's going to be quite strange to see who we actually do bring in this summer. Does he go for experience over youth and stuff, or does he play it quite key and just go for it? I couldn't really give you any more names. Hummels would be the perfect one, but I don't think that ship's flown yet again.
Yeah, Hummels is interesting. Everyone was raving, and he is a quality defender. This season, though, if you've watched him, he's been caught kind of out of position quite a lot. He had the cup game the other day. He got slammed. He was caught up in midfield. He was making fantastic forward passes, like brilliant. But then he's not the fastest defender, so he wasn't getting back fast enough. So obviously you can't go off one game or one season with him. But I think from watching him, I don't know if he is quick enough to deal with the pace that's in the Premier League this season. I'm not sure he would be my first choice. I think he's a quality defender. I'm not saying he's not, but I just don't know if the Premier League, the pace of the Premier League would suit him. Sticking on United defenders, Phil Jones came under quite a lot of scrutiny over his time. He's kind of stuck his head on the line, neck on the line. For United this season, which was brilliant. But would you keep him as a backup defender? Would you get rid? What would you do with him, Joey?
To be honest, I'm probably one of the few that thinks that if healthy and given a run of games, I think that they could be a first choice partnership. I think they've shown against Liverpool and Spurs and that little run that they can do the job. I mean, Phil Jones at times he's like all over the place and he looks crazy. But if you look at the numbers and you look at the stats don't lie. He's one of the best, not the best, but he's one of the better center backs in Europe. I think with those two, with Rojo, and you have to bring in quality. You have to bring in a world-class center back, whether that's Hummels, whether that's Otamendi. I was on the Hummels, after the World Cup, especially. He had a fantastic World Cup, but it seems like, he's had a hangover from that, and he didn't have the best season like you were saying. So I think, I've started, and I've kind of sold myself on Otamendi. But I would keep Jones, and you have to have competition in every spot on the pitch. And I think, with those three, Smalling, Jones, Rojo, you're bringing in Otamendi because it seems like, you pay the $35 million and, we can have him. I think that's, something with Spain. If you pay out the buyout clause, you could pretty much have the player. So I would keep Jones and I would let him, fight for the starting spot. While he doesn't, look always the most graceful, he gets the job done. And like you said, he put his face on the line.
Yeah, I think that has to be one of the moments of the season, seeing him literally put his head in front of someone's boot. Something that's came up today, well, it's not come up today for the first time, is Sterling. Now, this is rattling a few cages amongst United fans. The Guardian are reporting £140,000 a week or something. Personally, just no. Like, I'm too proud. Like, no, we've not had a Liverpool player sign for United for 77 years. It'd be great to get back to Liverpool, kind of like we did with Van Persie and Arsenal, but I just no. I don't personally rate him that much as a player. He's good. I think he's just weak on the ball. Everyone was slamming Falcao this season for being weak on the ball, and then I don't know. What's your thoughts, Ramon?
Interesting in the sense that you say he's weak on the ball. Actually, I think that if you look at it from a technical point of view, he's actually done very well this season in terms of how he usually performs. Quite often he's been accused of obviously being very lightweight. Fine, I understand that. Take that as a point. But then again, tell me which wingers generally aren't. It's coming to the play a lot. Technically, in this season in particular, what he's actually done is he's changed his game. In terms of obviously understanding and reading the game much better than before. He has actually grown and developed in this season more than people probably give him credit for. Obviously in the last month or two with the debacle of obviously him having a bit of a go at Liverpool, etc., that's probably changed people's perceptions. I am in agreement with you, by the way, that I personally wouldn't feel comfortable having him. I'm not overly sold on him anyway. I don't think he's anywhere near Memphis Depay, by the way. So I think in having Depay, I don't think we'd necessarily need Sterling. So I wouldn't just want to take him for the sake of taking him from our deadliest rivals just to put their noses out of joint. But let's give the lad a bit of credit, to be fair. This season he has changed his game a lot more. He's took on much more responsibility. But I'm in agreement with you. I wouldn't personally go for him, if I'm really honest with you. I want to just twist back to, obviously, you mentioned about the defenders, which is quite interesting. I personally, again, want to agreement with yourself as regards to Hummels. I think Mats Hummels is too slow. I don't actually think he had a very good World Cup, to be honest with you. I saw him get outpaced on more than one occasion. To me, Raphaël Varane is a great example of somebody who I would certainly pay extra money for, pay top dollar if I had to, because I think not only just his potential, the way he commands his position, the way he reads the game, his pace, he's tall, and personally speaking, I think he'd be better suited to the Premier League than Hummels would. But yeah, there's my little take on a bit of a forward and defensive signings, potential signings.
Maybe I'm just biased on Sterling then. I still wouldn't have him. I just, it's just, I just don't think it'd be the right signing for United. But it's kind of picked up a lot of pace. I've been watching a few things coming on Twitter this afternoon.
But interestingly enough, sorry to interrupt, but interestingly enough, I did hear a very good rumour, to be fair, which again, it's a rumour, and rumours do start and spread. Some of them for a certain reason. Was that Liverpool actually wanted to buy Depay because there was an intent to sell Sterling to Manchester United. obviously this isn't a rumour. The fact that Sterling is a United fan, that's by the by. But that was a very, very, very strong rumour several weeks ago, which I'd heard that that the rumour was that Liverpool were desperate to get Depay because Rodgers and Sterling's relationship has become very fractious. So therefore, they were at the time happy to actually offload him to Manchester United.
Didn't know that. Another one with a lot of pace picking up today is Schneiderlin. I'd sign him. Definitely would sign him. He had quite a lot of strong links to Arsenal. It's all kind of the Metro been reporting quite a lot about him today. He has tweeted a picture of him on holiday though. So I don't know. My thoughts are definitely sign him. Blind we've got as well. What's your thoughts, Ian, on the whole kind of defensive midfield situation?
Well, I said it at the end of last season. I was quite disappointed that when he went back into that defensive midfield, he started off really, really well for us in that role. He'd come off the back of the World Cup, superb form, just carried it on. He got injured, come back, we played him in the left back position against Liverpool and that good run of form, and he did really well. And then as soon as he went back to the defensive mid, you just went, oh, what's going on, pal? Schneiderlin. I think he's Carrick's replacement, and it's really hard to say that because I think we still need to get another couple of seasons out of Carrick. But yeah, I think he'd be a perfect replacement for Carrick. The way that he just continuously moves the ball and does the things that Carrick does, which is bring the ball up the field and pick the right passes at the right time. I want to go back onto points. Sterling, no. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that one, Aoife. No. Let him. He's had his little tantrum at Liverpool. Let him suffer. The Liverpool fans are going absolutely mental on Twitter over the fact that he's been linked with United. Another one, and we've not covered it, Hugo Lloris. He's mentioned bits about him being a United fan. I can't remember what sort of interview it was. But he did mention about some of his favourite players being ex-United players or current United players. I saw it somewhere quite briefly, and I thought there's a like-for-like replacement. If you're going to get rid of De Gea, which from the stuff that I've heard over the past couple of days, he is gone. He wants to move to Madrid with his missus and his family to start his life out there and have children and stuff, which is fair play to him. He's from Spain. A lot of Spanish players do it. Go back, and it's Real Madrid. The United's ambition is not the same as what Real Madrid's is at the moment. And I know that Real Madrid are in a bit of a risky spot at the moment. They've not won the league a couple of times, and they should have done. They've been in one Champions League final over the past 10 years or something stupid was the statistic. Yeah, you've got to be in it to win it, but United have only won it once in that period as well, and we've been in it 3 times. So that's my point with that, is that De Gea is going to leave, and I think Hugo Lloris is good, but I'm also quite an advocate of giving Valdez a chance. But yeah, back to Schneiderlin. I think we'd be stupid not to, but then again, we seem to have been absolutely dead certain to sign Klein for the past 4 or 5 months, and that's not seemed to materialise either.
Yeah, Klein's gone quiet. A few people are rumouring saying, well, that means it's done. I don't know. I don't know. This whole thing with the thing, have we signed them? Have we not? We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see with them lot. Definitely would sign Schneiderlin. Klein, I'm not so sure on. I wrote a tweet the other day saying maybe I've not watched him enough this season. I've watched him a fair bit, but I don't know whether the hype about him coming to United is mainly media driven. He's an English player, kind of. I don't know. We'll see with both of those. Someone again strongly linked to United is Gundogan, if I'm saying that rightly. We had a debate about this earlier. He looks fantastic. He's been linked with Barca there quite strongly as well. Joey, what's your take on him? Someone you'd sign?
Not first choice, no. I think looking at the defensive midfield, I think Schneiderlin would be an excellent signing. Premier League experience again, can read the game well, keeps the ball moving, can tackle. And I think he would be a fantastic signing. Gundogan would probably be down to 3rd or 4th on my list, because before that I would go after Schweinsteiger. I said it before. I think Pep wants him to leave, but he doesn't want to push him out. You know, he's a club legend. But I think that the playing time, you know, his contract issue. I think he's got a year left. He's still going to be playing for Germany. I don't think Pep likes that too much. So I would say I would sign Schweinsteiger before I sign Gundogan. You know, I kind of want to stay away from Gundogan because while he has, you know, played a lot this year, he still has that spinal injury, and that's something that could, you know, that could come back at any second. You know, look at Falcao. We signed a player coming off an injury, and it didn't work out for us. Gundogan, he does, you know, if we're talking pre-Gundogan injury, you know, there's no question, no doubt about it. But I'm not, you know, I'm not completely sold on him. You know, the Premier League is more physical than the Bundesliga. So I don't know how he would hold up. I would sign him for the right price, but he wouldn't be my first choice.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of midfield players that we are linked to. Schweinsteiger is another one. We'll kind of start rounding up. I think there's so many. I think we're linked with about 50 players this season already. It's kind of ridiculous. Raman, just to round up, if on the out for United, who would your outs be and why?
My outs would certainly be, I think, well, it's done and dusted. You know, the Raphael, obviously, lack of playing time under Van Gaal, clearly didn't fancy him anyway. Nani, for me, 2 hit and miss, very inconsistent. Antonio Valencia is a difficult one because, unfortunately, he's had to play right back for so long, and he clearly isn't a right back.
Oh. Is he there? Have we lost him? Oh. Ian, just to take over, who would you get out then? Who would you sell?
I'm just picking up on his Valencia point. It's actually quite a shame that he's had to go back to playing right back. It's not his natural position. But then again, we brought in Depay. Young's had a good season. Nani could be coming back. Di Maria's still there. There's a lot of competition for his place. So I don't, unless he's going to be able to play a full back role, a wing back role, then I really don't understand how he's going to fit in. Unfortunately for him, we've already said Evans, Jones. I'm not too sure on. He could go either way for me. Smalling, I'd definitely keep. I think in his last half of the season. He did really well. He sort of stepped up, picked up his game a bit. So yeah, I'd like to see him progress a bit more. Evans, we've said, Cleverley gone without question from me. Van Persie, it's a hard one. You've got to replace him with someone that's going to be just as good and who's going to fit the system, as I said at the start. So he could have another year in him, but it's been a bit strange on this Van Persie and Louis van Gaal relationship. When Van Gaal took over the Holland squad, Van Persie had a couple of games, wasn't on form, and he got ditched. Louis van Gaal said, "No, you're off." Bye. Came back with Huntler. Huntler played well for so many games. It was whatever it was, and then just before the World Cup, he came off form. Huntler, and he brought Van Persie back, and I think Van Persie played 2 warm-up games and then the 2 games including the one that he scored that mental header with, and just after that he started not playing in full games, and Huntler actually came on and scored a really significant goal for that. So it's a love-hate relationship. Either he loves him one minute or he hates him the next. So I really don't understand what he's going to do with Van Persie. For me, I think maybe his time's over. We may need some fresh blood in there.
It'll be interesting anyway. A lot of people with Van Persie said, you know, is it worth the money that we'll get for him to get rid of him? But then, is he going to be happy, you know, playing second fiddle to somebody else? Or another couple, depending on who we bring in. There's quite a lot to cover with everything, but has anyone got any final points they would like to discuss on ins, outs, or whatever? Ian, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to sort of finish up on a note of, obviously, since the merge, you've seen some quality content. go and check out the Andy Ritchie video that's up currently. It's been tweeted out for the past couple of days. On there's some information about winning a signed Campo Retro shirt. Thank you to them and their brand new partnership with us. So yeah, there's a brand new signed shirt from Andy Ritchie to be had. There's some great content coming up. Interview with Danny Webber, little mini doc with Paul Scholes coming up. I'll get that correct, otherwise Shrag will have me balls. But yeah, there's some great content coming up. These transfer talks that we're doing are going to be every week. They may not be on the same day every week, so keep your eyes peeled to the Twitter accounts, either at StrettyNews or at StrettyNewsTV, to keep up all the latest. And give us a subscribe if you're liking the stuff. Keep your comments coming in below. We're going to go through them after the show. We've had a bit of technical difficulties tonight. To try and I was trying to get in between two and tweeting at the same time. It's a bit mental. But yeah, we'll go back through those and see what your comments are and suggestions have been. The Twitter's been mental, people agreeing, disagreeing with things. So yeah, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how the transfer window pans out.
Hey, well, if that's everything then, like Ian said, keep on watching our shows every week for the latest, and follow us on Twitter. It's all on the screen, and let us know your opinions, who's coming in and who's going out this season. All right, thanks, bye.